Welcome to Travelogue. I'm your host, Yan Ling. Get ready for a very long trip of a special sort. History travel along Chinese ancient dynasties. When all of us are gliding to the future in full speed with such optimism, it's always helpful and healthy to slow down, hold tight, look into the reflection mirror from time to time. And for all of you who are curious about today's China, it's almost obligatory to follow our trip to understand how come this ancient civilization is still thriving today. Chinese believe that traveling is more helpful for learning than reading books. Besides, it's much more fun. So get ready, buckle up, enjoy first stop, Anyang.
It's commonly believed that ancient Chinese civilization started from the Xia dynasty 5,000 years ago. However, in archaeological terms, Xia stays as a myth and a theory, since there are no archaeological evidence to prove its existence yet. So was the story of the Shang dynasty. Until less than 100 years ago, the discovery of Yinxu, the remains of the last capital of Shang, completed the missing link in an old puzzle. The Shang dynasty kept moving its capital around northern China until 1300 BC, when the 20th king, Tan Geng, fixed his eyes upon a piece of land beside this river, then called the Huanhe. It was around this river that the last capital of Shang dynasty flourished for nearly 300 years. On the south bank of the Huaihe River, a well-structured city ring was unearthed, and on the north side, 13 gigantic underground mausoleums were also eventually discovered. Together with huge mausoleums of the kings, more than 2,500 small tombs and sacrificial pits were also unearthed here.
The grain plantation is a modern resolution to mark the subterranean shape of those tombs where 13 royal members rested here. We have to ironically thank the tomb robber who actually discovered those alleys first, earlier than the archaeologists. But of course, because of the same reason, that's pretty much all it's left to marvel here.
Although most of the tombs have been looted already, the site still provides rich evidence of Shang material culture and ritual practices. When a king died, hundreds of valuables, slaves, and prisoners were also sacrificed and buried with him.
Looks like magnified picture of my skin. I got goosebumps here, working in an open underworld. Have to admire the courage of both archaeologists and even tomb robbers. Look at this. It's more than 7 to 10 meters deep. Shang tomb seems like a pyramid standing upside down.
Sacrifice to gods and ancestors was a major part of Shang's social and dynastic life. This sacrificial vessel is known as 司母戊鼎, world's biggest bronzeware. According to archaeologists, and as the name in Chinese suggests, the king of the Shang dynasty had it made to commemorate his mother. Apart from its size, casting technique and decorative artistry of this 司母戊鼎 also represented the Shang dynasty's highest achievements in bronzeware. Dings were used in the Chinese primitive society as cooking utensils, later evolved to be sacrificial vessels symbolizing the owner's power and wealth. Shang people used elaborate and dramatic rituals communicating with the above, and music was one of the most important elements in a ritual ceremony.
5 now bells standing on wood stands create a character music. Yeah. Music is equals as pleasure, enjoyment, and also music in Chinese character. Same character. It used to play a very important role in Shang dynasty because it's a very important component in the ritual ceremony. Eventually, of course, involved like today, like pleasure and enjoyment. But why there are only 5 drums standing on the stands? Because there are only 5 tones in Chinese music. Do, re, mi, sol, la. If you cannot do do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do properly like Western music, you probably want to try your better luck in Chinese music. History is always written by winners and for winners. That's why somehow if you read about it, it's always about events and aristocrats' lifestyle. That's why I enjoy coming to a museum, see the artifacts, documenting commoners' lifestyle, how they ate, drank, cook. Like this, 3,000 years ago, they already used a steamer, wine glasses, good life, with or without money.
The Shang capital had a complex walled city structure, even had underground pipe water supply in certain areas. To have an educational and entertaining lesson about this highly civilized ancient capital, a visit to Yinshu Museum is a must. With the excavation of 25 rammed earth palace foundations, this site, Shang Palace, came to light in 1999, known as Yinshu, the ruin of Yinshang. Archaeological excavations prove that the oddly arranged Yinshu is a miniature of a highly developed slave society. On the south bank of Huanghe River lie large-scale palaces and temples, surrounded by workshops, as well as a residential area and burial ground for citizens. Unearthed relics also include a large number of oracle bone inscriptions, delicate bronzeware, jade and ivory articles, production tools and articles for daily use. Among all valuable collections of the museum, the most important ones are this: oracle bones, the evidence of China's earliest writing system.
Tortoise, because its endurance and longevity, have always considered to be half real and half spiritual creature that can bring supernatural power in China. That's why tortoise shell has been used as material for oracle bone inscriptions. Of course, it's also not the only material.
These carvings recorded the questions Shang kings posed to the gods and their ancestors. From them, we learned their understanding of the high god Di to nature gods and ancestors, as well as the issues that concern them, such as harvests, childbirth, and military campaigns.
It seems like Shang King can solve everything he does with oracle bones, like this one. He asked 12 times about, shall I go hunting today? Apparently, he wasn't happy with each divination result and did 12 times. But the final result, we still don't know. This is a missing part telling the result. Mystery from the history.
The discovery of oracle bone itself was also a myth. Dragon bone, turtle plastrons, the vitral shells were commonly grounded up and used in traditional Chinese medicine. There's one theory that Mr. Wang Yirong, an expert in ancient Chinese texts, once bought some of those dragon bone when he was sick. When the shells were about to be grounded up, he noticed that they were inscribed with strange characters that resembled written Chinese. Historians have argued about whether the tale is true and where those oracle bones came from, but there's no doubt that Mr. Wang Yirong was the first major collector of oracle bones and first contributor to oracle bone studies.
Even experts can only decipher about 1/3 of oracle bone characters. To talk about me, but thanks for this two-sided dictionary. This side, original, the oracle bone inscription, and this side, the modern Chinese characters. So let me do the division for you, okay, what it says over here. Look, person under the field means spirit and ghost. So this person has been dreaming about ghost. How do we know they've been dreaming? There's a person lying on a bed. Dream about ghosts. And then he gets sweaty all over, so it means he gets sick. So he went to the shaman to ask, is this auspicious or bad luck? And the shaman was good enough to say, oh, be happy, dance around. They will be, no problem at all. I actually probably been visiting too many tombs. I had some nightmares recently. Need to find a modern shaman at least tell me if it's a good sign or bad.
When Shang people turned to God and ancestors for guidance, they entrusted a shaman as intermediary and used oracle bones for prophecy mainly. The diviner chiseled a small shadow indentation into the piece of shell or bone. Then he puts a piece of burning charcoal against the shell. With a slight sound of poop, the shell would crack into leaving a fissure like the English letter T. The oracle will then be read by a shaman according to the couture of the crack and be reported to the king.
结果怎么样？
大吉大利。
大吉大利。Auspicious. Lucky I don't read it. Hope it's all true. They all say that actually. 这个方向就是说。
The right question is as important as the result. Today, what makes oracle bone valuable are these scripts, representing the root of Chinese writing system.
We're literally still walking through the corridor of Chinese writing system. From the past to the present, they're still making it. Chinese character is the only living writing system that still used the same principle, like 3,300 years ago as recorded. There's two basic principles to be used in Chinese character, pictographic and ideographic. The principle is quite easy. Let me teach you one character, like us, human, people. That's 人, two strokes. That look at the origin. is actually just a symbol and picture of a profile of human body. And what does ideographic means? That means the graphic and symbol conveys an idea. Look at this character, old, 老. That means a person turned crook-backed and needs a little bit of support and help. That means old.
Is the legendary figure in China who's said to be the person who invented the earliest Chinese writing. The story goes he got inspiration by observing the climate, the physical shapes and forms of objects, the shapes and trees, shadows, and marks left by animals and birds on the ground. He then decided to inscribe these picture markings on wood, and this became the pictographic. Of course, a comprehensive writing system can only be a product of involvement of the mass. But Cangjie is still the first name to be mentioned in the first Chinese lesson.
Most foreigners think Chinese characters too difficult to learn. It's almost get intimidated. But if you think about it, Chinese character for me, I think is the most natural way of writing, pictographic. Look at this. All this inscription found in oracle bones, they look exactly like the chariot we have seen. Wheels, yoke. Of course, the evolution of writing system means a process of simplification. Today, that's how vehicle look like in Chinese. Still bear the trace of the original form, wheels and yoke. 车, vehicle. That China is one of the first countries that invented and used a wheel and vehicle like this, chariot. And it's believed that in Xia Dynasty, the dynasty prior to Shang, there's already a post in charge of vehicle and traffic in the government. But between the myth and history, there's only one division line, evidence. This is the first found chariot in Shang capital. As you can see, it's two-horse-driven chariot. Later on, in later Shang Dynasty, they started using four-horse-driven chariot, literally for more horsepower. Every day you get to sit on a 3,300 years old chariot. Even it's quite a shabby, modern duplica. I'm sitting on a driver's position. On my left, in Chinese tradition, left side is supposed to be honorable position. The master is supposed to be set. Here, somebody assisted me. And even this is not a very comfortable ride, but the ancient Shang people already created something very smart. Look at this. They use animal skin to wrap the wheel. So it serves as a function almost like a tire. Ooh la la, enough.
Fu Hao was not only known as a wife of the Shang king, she was also involved in two aspects of royal life that were normally not open to women, as a military leader and a shaman.
Fu Hao must be one of the most favorite consort of Wu Jing king. That's why he decided to bury her right in a palace area instead of the mausoleum far away, so he can see her even after death. But maybe that's also the reason that, lucky enough, this tomb is only tomb we found unlooted.
Fu Hao's tomb has yielded over 100 weapons. This is very unusual for a woman's tomb and shows her status as a great military leader. The oracle bone recorded that once she led nearly 13,000 men into attack. That was the largest army that Shang Dynasty ever sent out. The Shang burial custom, at least for conquest, is similar as Egyptians. Whatever you have possessed and enjoyed, you bring them down with you. Things you have used, cooking vessel, wine glasses, and even people who have served you. One thing I found particularly cool about the Shang burial custom is that they actually think newborn baby body can protect the tomb and keeps evil spirits away. These are the small coffins to hold the newborn baby.
Diamond may be girls' best friend elsewhere, but jade has always enjoyed the same status in China. Jade not only is a symbol of luxury and wealth since ancient time, it also represents a quality of refinement and purity. Tell you a little secret. My name Yanling means bright jade. Hopefully represents the same quality. Nice. China's first ever general, Fu Hao, may have owned her own estate, led a great military campaign, but still, she's a woman. Look at the stuff she used before. I guess it's a hairpin. Even I use it today. Wouldn't be too out of date.
Lady Fu Hao lived in a period when Shang power reached its zenith. Shang was overthrown by Zhou tribe around 1000 BC. The last emperor of Shang dynasty, who was recorded a brutal and merciless ruler, imprisoned one respected man, Zhou Wenwang, here in Youli, first ever national prison in Chinese recorded history. Zhou Wenwang, father of the founding emperor of Zhou dynasty, was worshipped as a wise and merciful king. Also, an intelligent scholar who played a key role in developing the now world-famous book, I Ching, Book of Changes. The story goes that 82 years old Zhou Wenwang survived 7 difficult prison years here and apparently wasted no time. He further developed the previous 8 hexagram system of divination into 64 and wrote detailed explanations and sign notes for followers' reference. Today, thousands of I Ching enthusiasts flock in Youli every September for the World I Ching Forum. The opening ceremony is always started with a sacrificial ceremony commemorating this legendary man.
先画一个太极图吧，就是
阳中有阴点。
阴中有阳。
The great ultimate diagram shows the opposites follow into each other. The two elements, yin yao, marked as broken line, and yang yao, unbroken line, are the starting point. By grouping the lines into sets of 3, the trigram, and 6 hexagrams, you can calculate the infinity of the universe. Throughout I Ching, there's one underlining teaching. Things are interchangeable. Something that looks like a stroke of luck might bring bad outcome, while something seemingly ill-fated turn of life might be the beginning of another uphill ride. Indeed, the vicissitudes of life is never predictable or ever stay on one course.
The fundamental principle of Chinese philosophy and living practice is turning to nature for guidance. Book of Changes, I Ching, is the first ever book trying to decode the secret of the universe and the changes. But thanks to Confucius, later generation understood this book not only as for prophecy, but also as a guidebook for philosophy and self-cultivation. But story about that saint, Confucius, you have to wait until next episode, my fellow travelers trip in Qufu. You've been watching Travelogue History Special, first ever episode. I'm Yanling, and see you next time in some other dynasties. Bye-bye.
In the next episode, we get a glimpse at the spring and autumn period by examining Confucianism at Confucius's hometown of Qufu.